sleep is for wimps or I'll sleep when I'm dead. No, sleep is a biological necessity.
Dr. Gareth. He is one of the medical advisory board members here at Check My Body Health with 20 plus years of experience in the healthcare sector.
This will probably shock you. Someone who's got sleep apnea, mild sleep apnea, will wake somewhere between 15 times an hour. If they've got severe, it's 100. Your brain has your circadian rhythm and you want to be in time with that. That's why when you go abroad, you get the jet lag, because your rhythm is out of sync.
You're not a good sleeper.
I go to sleep, gone. But I wake up and my mind just goes, hello.
If you get less than 6 to 7 hours night's sleep regularly, you actually increase the damage to your immune system and almost double your risk of cancer.
How can stress and anxiety impact your sleep?
The trouble with mental health and stress altogether is that
That's really difficult. Welcome back to the Chat with Body Health podcast. Welcome back to episode 4. God, the episodes are really flying past now, aren't they, Ben? Ben, wake up.
Oh, morning. Yes, they are flying by.
We're on episode 4 now.
Already? Gosh, how long was I out for?
I know. We just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been tuning into the previous episodes, and you have joined us on a fun episode.
Now, we have to bring back a fan favourite guest in
We
Dr.
did.
Gareth. Now, if you don't know who Dr. G is, he is one of the medical advisory board members here at Check My Body Health with 20 plus years of experience in the healthcare sector. He helps us write blogs, helps our customers, and is often appearing on our socials. So, Gareth, welcome back.
Gareth,
Gareth.
what are you doing? Wake up.
oh, hello.
Welcome back to the Check My Body Health podcast.
Sure. Yeah, hi. Yeah.
Have you woke up in a dream or a nightmare being back here for a second
Oh,
episode?
yeah, well, yes, it is a nightmare, yes. I'm looking forward to it.
And if you can't already tell by our outfits, then today's episode is all about sleep. Something that is very important to me and something that I love, and I know a lot of other people find important too.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to talking about sleep, something that we're all here have a deep interest in, and deep interest in deep sleep as well. So let's get right into it. So the first question we have for you, Gareth, is why is sleep so important for us?
Well, sleep is one of those natural things we have to do, not just humans, but all animals. And it recharges our brain and our body. A bit like your phone, really, plugging your phone in to recharge it. And it's vital because you can't function properly without sleep. You lose your concentration, you become irritable, you become less productive, and yeah, it has nasty effects. And there's lots of triggers that can do that. Poor bedroom environment, which no doubt we'll talk about later, stresses, poor diet, work shifts. But there are things that we can do to improve your sleep as well. Because if we don't, as I say, we're not going to get very far, because sleep is needed for clarity in your cognitive effects, so working things out. It's also vital for your emotions. You're going to become very sort of emotional if you don't sleep, irritated, snappy. And it does also have effects to your memory, and big ones. It can lead on to things like cardiovascular disease, heart attacks and strokes, plus of course diabetes and even dementia. So it's vital we get our sleep.
I think it shows how important sleep really is. I don't think a lot of people realise, do they? So I think a big question that a lot of people would have is, how much sleep do we really need, and does that depend on people's age, gender, lifestyles? Okay,
so typically an adult is going to need somewhere in the region of 7 to 9 hours a night. As you get that little bit older, perhaps that's a little bit less, maybe 7 to 8 hours. But when you're younger, which is why the teens hit the bed all the time, and especially the preschoolers, they need 13 hours. 13?
Wow.
Yeah. So we talk about 6 hours being pretty much your minimum amount of sleep. You can function for short times under 6, but if you're persistently getting less than 6 hours sleep, you are going to run into sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation is a bit like a credit card. You can't just get it back. You've got to sleep more to get that back, which is why people crash out over weekends and stuff like that. So females, they need about 20 minutes more or so sleep than men, and it's all to do with more your hormone fluctuations. And so that's especially seen when you're pregnant or when you're going through the perimenopausal as you're getting older. Also the hormones are going to sort of disturb your sleep as well. In terms of lifestyle, well, yeah, that's going to have effects. So if you're an athlete, if you're one of these top athletes, you probably need about 10 hours sleep, because you're really,
you're working your body harder,
exactly,
aren't you?
You're working very hard indeed. If you're stressed, you'll need more sleep as well. And then don't forget about the culture that we live in nowadays. We live in a very 24/7 lifestyle. Everything is full on. Unfortunately, our mobile phones are welded to our hands, and we look at work texts, we answer work texts, very late at night, at midnight. You're scrolling through your social medias and stuff like that very late at the night, and those are really bad habits to have. Sleep is all about being able to relax into a state of sleep, and if you're overstimulating your mind like that, then that's just negative effect. Plus, there's, of course, this image that sleep is for wimps, or I'll sleep when I'm dead. No, sleep is a biological necessity. It's not a luxury. We need sleep.
It's almost like I'll sleep when I'm dead, but if you don't sleep, you're almost encouraging that factor, aren't you, really?
Well, yeah, you're gonna have large repercussions if you really try and live that lifestyle.
Well, according to the book Why We Sleep, if you get less than 6 to 7 hours nights sleep regularly, you actually increase the damage to your immune system and almost double your risk of cancer as well, which is showing the importance of sleep. And, getting that low amounts of sleep and being like, oh, I don't need much sleep, I'm working all the time, is actually damaging you in the long run as well.
Yeah, you get an odd few people. It is a very small percentage who can sleep under 6 hours and be refreshed and move, but they are the minority, a very small minority.
And then you mentioning about phones as well, and the phones give off that blue light, don't they? So a lot of people wear is it the orange glasses that block out the blue light?
I haven't seen those, I have to be honest, but yeah, blue light emittings are bad because they reduce your production of melatonin, which is what you need to actually sleep, is your sleep hormone. And even if you think you've switched off the blue light, it's still going to be emitting blue lights. So yeah, that's not good. But it's also, as I say, the overstimulation of scrolling through and seeing what people have written about you or
there's
other
just
things.
So much information,
and,
so much access on there.
It's all stress to the mind. And so certainly at night you want to be putting away your phone half an hour to an hour before you go to bed. Leaving it not even by your bed, putting it away so you can't just reach out and see what's happening.
That's really difficult.
Yeah. Try and get a book instead. Okay. People use Kindles and stuff like that, but even those will emit a blue light. Some of them are better, so the Kindle Fires are really bad for the blue light, but your Kindle Inks are better. They have a very low rate, and you can turn the rating down as well. But even those still have a little bit of blue light.
And I know as well, a lot of people, you use your phone as an alarm. So I think in the morning as well, that's the first thing you pick up is your phone because it's your alarm. A lot of people have those lampshades that give you like a natural alarm clock instead of using your phone.
Yeah, I use my watch.
Oh, your watch is your alarm?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I wear that and it goes off and it vibrates and up I go.
Do you use your phone as an alarm?
I use my phone as an alarm. There is an alarm on my watch, but it's just natural to have it. I feel like because then I need to reach for it, whereas I think if it's on my watch, I could just easily mute it, whereas because my phone is a bit to the side, I have to actively move, and that
encourages you to get out of bed.
But I find that once my alarm goes off, I'm pretty much out of bed straight away. I kind of sit up straight away because if I snooze it, then I'll be straight back to sleep again. So I kind of have to force myself. I'm
a nightmare. Getting out of bed is the hardest task for me every single day. It's really, really hard.
Certainly as a kid, I used to have one of those really, alarms with the big bells on the top, and used to have it at the other side of the bedroom.
And
so it would go off. I'd have to get out of bed to then turn it off because it was such a racket. I found the loudest one.
Maybe I should get an alarm clock and then put it at the other side of the room, or on my phone as well.
Yeah. I encourage you to actually get up and stop it.
But then every morning I'll probably just be really annoyed at myself. I'll be
you probably last 2 nights and then just put it next to your bed again.
Yeah.
Well, what are some common signs that people aren't getting enough sleep, or the sleep that they are getting isn't as good quality as they think it is?
Yeah, so it's not just about the quantity of sleep, your 7 to 9 hours, it's also the quality. Because you can have, you think, decent sleep, but actually you're not for various reasons. So you need to see how you are feeling when you wake up. So you should feel restored. Within half an hour to an hour, you should be feeling back to your normal self. But if you wake up extremely groggy, then that's not a good sign. That means you haven't had a good night's sleep. If you remember your vivid dreams, that's not a good sign. That means you've woken up during your sleep cycle of the REM with your eye movements, which, again, I'm sure we'll talk about later on.
So it's a bad sign if you can remember your dreams?
It's more likely that you have woken up very close to when you had your REM sleep, which isn't the best thing. That means you're disturbing that sleep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And you wake up craving sugar. So sugar's a bit of a naughty one, really, because sugar gives you that instant rush. But then about 2 hours later, you get a crash. So you don't want to be taking sugar before you go to bed, because that crash may wake you up. And it's a really bad thing, sugar, unfortunately, to do with your sleep. If you are lacking sleep, you will crave sugar to give you that rush, which means you take sugar, which gives you a reward, which then puts you more wanting it, and you sleep less because you get the sugar rush, and so you get into a vicious cycle. Yeah. And it's also been shown that people who are obese tend to have poor sleep because they get into that food habit of wanting sort of the processed foods, the sugary foods, to give them that instant kick, where in fact what they need is the sleep. And they're just, again, getting into a vicious cycle of that. So if you wake up moody, you've got less tolerance for everybody, snappy, nasty, not on every single day, not just every now and again looking at your face. And if you wake often during the night, if you snore, loud snoring will wake you up, loud snoring will wake your partner up. And there is a medical condition called sleep apnea. There's two. There's one in the brain called central. We won't talk about that. It's the obstructive sleep apnea. So that occurs in the larger person, because when you're lying flat, the weight of your neck pushes down on your breathing. And that means you snore very loudly and you wake extremely frequently, and you may not know about it.
So that's why when people lay on their backs, they're more likely to snore.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. There's numerous other reasons. But this will probably shock you. Someone who's got sleep apnea, mild sleep apnea, will wake somewhere between 15 times an hour.
God, that
if
must be
they've got
exhausting.
severe, it's 100.
An hour?
An hour.
You're not even sleeping at that point.
That must be so exhausting.
Yeah.
How can you help with that then? Is there a cure for it?
So you put them under something called a CPAP, which is a pressure. So it opens up the airway. So it's a bit like a Darth Vader sound.
Oh, so you sleep with a mask on?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about that, I think.
And then trying to lose a bit of weight, obviously, because that then helps. But yeah, it's not uncommon. But in the early stages, you will not particularly notice that you're waking up 15 times a night. You'll just wake up that really groggy, not feel very nice. You'll crash when you do go to sleep, and you'll stay asleep for not long, though.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
On average, like 6 to 7, I would say, a night. It depends on the day. In the week, it's closer to 6.5, whereas on the weekends, it's like 7 to 8, I would say.
Gareth?
Yeah, I'm around 6. It's horrible.
You're not a good sleeper?
I go to sleep, gone. But I wake up and my mind just goes, hello.
Wait, so do you go to bed late or do you wake up early then?
I try to go to bed every night at the same time. So again, one of the things that you should do with sleep is have a proper routine. Your brain has your circadian rhythm and you want to be in time with that. That's why when you go abroad, you get the jet lag, because your rhythm is out of sync. So you want to try to go to bed most times at the same time. So I go to bed at 10:30 and I read for half an hour. Don't always get to half an hour reading because I'm...
That's good though, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good trick.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So then what time do you wake up?
Any time from 5:30 onwards.
Wow. Long days for Gareth then. I try to go to bed at 10:30. I'm normally asleep by 11. On a bad night, it's probably 11:30 at midnight. But then I wake up at... My alarm for work is 7:10. But I also heard that you shouldn't set your alarm at the same time every day. Or is that not true?
I've not heard that. In many respects, I don't use an alarm. I only use an alarm when I absolutely...
Because you're up early.
Yeah, but you can almost set your own brain.
Your body clock.
Yeah, to say, look, I don't have to get up till 8. I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to, pretty good, wake up a couple of minutes before my alarm went off and switch it off.
It's the same with if you know you need to be up for a reason in the morning. It's like in the night you'll wake up and be like, oh, what's the time? Oh, it's only this time. And then you go back to sleep and then you probably wake up again. It's almost like you can set it by knowing you have to be up for a reason or a certain time.
It's like when you wake up in the middle of the night, it's like 4 a.m. You're like, oh, okay, I've got like 4 hours left.
Yeah.
You can go back to sleep. That's such a good feeling.
But I say you definitely want a routine. So give you an example. Back in the day when I was a junior doctor working in hospitals, I was doing the silly hours. So I went from 90 hours a week down to 48 hours a week. And I thought, oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to catch my sleep up. Fantastic. What I did, though, I went to casualty and work shift. So one day on the morning, one day in the afternoon, then an overnight. And I actually found that working the 54 hours, I was so much more knackered than if I was working the 90 because my pattern was just all over the shop.
Your body needs routine then?
Definitely.
Did you ever find that you used caffeine for those times? Because obviously we have adenosine, and then if we have caffeine, they kind of battle each other for that sleep. What is the latest that we should be having caffeine if we're trying to go to sleep?
So caffeine's got a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. And what I mean by that is if you have a cup of coffee, half of it is still going to be stimulating your body 6 hours later.
6 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, my iced coffee. Oh,
so,
You're not going to sleep
I'm
tonight.
sleeping tonight.
If you want to reduce that stimulant that you get from the coffee, you're looking at sort of mid-afternoon, 5 o'clock for your last one also, depending on what time you go to bed.
Yeah. I know my parents, even with tea, they drink decaf tea from like 2 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, so one of the things that people think is okay is decaffeinated coffee and decaffeinated tea. Certainly decaffeinated coffee has a degree of coffee, as do puddings, chocolates,
you have chocolate,
even ice creams.
Sugary snacks.
Sugary snacks are the different. They will give you that high, but then will crash you. So you're having a cup of coffee at the end of the evening with a nice chocolate, sugar
God.
and caffeine. No,
You
not
might as well
good.
not sleep at all.
Added into a big fat meal you've just had. You had a huge steak 2 hours before. Your body is busy digesting that food rather than settling you
You're
down.
setting yourself up for failure there, really, aren't you?
Basically.
But I feel like that's what a lot of people do in the evening. I'll sit down and have some chocolate.
Yeah.
Maybe not a coffee, but things like chocolate, yeah, it's got caffeine in it.
Is there evidence of using that caffeine? So, for example, I sometimes go to the gym quite late, so I'll have an energy drink at like 6, 7, and then I'll go to the gym at like 11. Does me going to the gym wear off that caffeine in any way to make the effects last less? So you say 6 hours. Is there any science that suggests that if I'm working that caffeine, is there less of a time frame there?
I don't think so, but don't quote me on that one because it's. I don't think you'll speed up your natural digestive systems by doing that sort of exercise. You might increase it a bit, but you're probably talking half an hour to an hour. Look, I don't know. I'm going to put my hands up on that one. I don't think so. I've not seen that anywhere.
But aren't you not meant to work out so closely to bed because of how you're working your body? I've heard that as well.
More evidence is coming through that it's good to do a bit of exercise after you've eaten, about half an hour, even if it's a gentle stroll, just to get things moving. It helps with the insulin resistance that you have in your body and helps the insulin levels. But I haven't particularly, again, heard anything to do with exercise that close to bed. I mean, unfortunately, when you do exercise, if you do exercise regularly, you're going to get a nice endorphin rush.
Yes, endorphins. I think that's what I heard.
Not going to help you go to sleep. If you're on a bit of a high, you need to be relaxing it down. So, yeah, probably thinking about it scientifically, it probably isn't the best thing to do.
Don't do your 11K run before you go to sleep.
Yeah, see, my run is fine, but if I'm in the gym, I feel like once I've been and I come back, it's like my body, because I'm getting to the point where I'm tired, ready to go to bed, and I'm going to the gym, I'm almost wearing my body down, so by the time I'm in bed, I feel awake on the way home and brushing my teeth and all that stuff. And once I actually sit down and lie down, my body's like, okay, now we're finally resting. Yeah. And I think because it's ready to sleep, but I was in the gym, it's like, oh, finally we're back here. And then I do find that I can sleep. But yeah, if I go for a run, then I'm done for.
That also sounds as though you use your bedroom correctly as a bed environment, not as a spare room in the house.
Oh no, yeah, it's pretty much just the bedroom.
Yeah, because your brain will think of it as a bed if you choose it as a bed. If you choose it as a room to watch your television or to play your games and all of that sort of thing, it's not then a bedroom.
Oh, I do that as well. But I think it's I think me getting out the house
You just ruined it, Ben.
Me getting out the house beforehand, before sleep, maybe that tricks my brain into knowing I've not been there the whole time. Maybe I'm just fooling myself.
Ben's just making it up.
I'm manipulating myself the whole time.
Toxic.
I'm just a guy.
Okay, can we dive a bit deeper into the different stages of sleep? So can you tell us what are the different stages of sleep and what happens in those stages?
So you've got 4 stages of sleep. So the first one's called light sleep N1, because there's 2 light sleeps. And that only lasts for about 10 minutes. That's your sort of step down into sleep. Then you get into light sleep 2, N2, which is the majority of what you do when you sleep. So you're not too bad sleeping, but it is on the light side, and that's about 50% of what you do when you sleep is in that state. You then go, and that's where sort of memory formation starts, because it's all about laying down your memory sleep as well. Then you go into the deep sleep. So those are the ones that people could walk around and almost, knock on the door, and you just would have no idea that that's going on. So much so that if someone wakes you during that, you're really groggy, and you really don't know where you are, and you can't move very well. Sleep inertia, it's called, when you're woken in that sort of state, in that deep state. So something, an emergency happens.
It's quite scary.
It is extremely scary.
It's also quite scary for the other people as well. Like watching someone sleepwalk would be quite scary.
Yeah, and so that's about muscle repair and the immune function in your body. So that deep sleep is really good for muscles, for relaxing your muscles down, repairing, restoring them. And then about 90 minutes into your sleep, you'll move then into the REM sleep. So that's the rapid eye movement. So the rest of your body is still, and it's just your eyes moving. And that's your vivid dreams. Okay, and that's the main restorative element that we have. So that's emotional processing, memory, and learning all being laid down into your brain.
So that's the most important part of your sleep, would you say?
That and the deep, yeah, the two together. And then what will happen is that you will cycle through those 4 cycles 5 times during the night. Okay. So you go back into a light sleep for a longer time, then a deep, and then an REM. But actually, as you go forward, your REM lasts longer each time, as it just builds and builds.
How does our poor sleep then affect, you mentioned memory and emotional regulation, how does poor sleep affect those things?
Yeah, so, sleep, as I say, is important, because if you wake up and you're not functioning properly, you're going to be more grouchy. Things are going to affect you more. Your concentration ain't going to be so good, so your performance at work will start to dip. As I say, you become ratty, difficult coping with stress.
It affects everything, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, and then it affects your memory and your learning. So you're difficult learning new things, trying to remember what happened, the day before will be affected by that. And the other things is mental health is worsened. So if you're getting that lack of sleep and you're getting any anxiety, either because of it or due to it was already there, it's just going to make that worse. And the trouble with mental health and stress altogether is that it makes your sleep poor anyway. If you're going to bed and you're worrying about not sleeping, or you're worrying about other things. So you get less sleep, which causes more anxiety, more depression, which causes less sleep, which causes, so again, that vicious cycle.
How do things like diet then impact our sleep? Because we have things like mental health, and then that impacts poor sleep, and then that's a cycle. But can diet help us in any way?
So if you look at diet, you're looking really at 2 stages: what you can do during the daytime throughout the day, and then what you do close to going to bed. So during the daytime, you want to have a nice, healthy diet, essentially, keep your normal body functioning well. So that's your vitamin Bs, so your leafy vegetables, things like that. You're also looking at magnesium. Magnesium is a great one to help you sleep because it relaxes muscles. And then you've also got some stuff called tryptophans, which are the compounds that help make serotonin and melatonin as well. So if you can get those into your day-to-day diet. You also want to avoid highly processed foods because they've got lots of saturated fats and they're very poor fibre, and that's been shown to be a negative to your REM sleep as well. And also general nutrients. You want to make sure that you're getting the right nutrients into your body. We all know about the gut health, brain access is all part of that. If we can keep your gut healthy, so looking at probiotic sort of foods, your sauerkrauts and stuff like that, that will be another positive. Also, you've got the complex carbohydrates, sweet potatoes, quinoa, wild rice. That also sort of regulates your sugar spikes. Because as we say, we don't want too much sugar, spike, and then drop. And then before bed, you don't want a large meal. As we said before, it's going to difficult digesting. Spicy food, great to have. Big fan, but it's not the best to have just before you go to bed. You're sitting up, it's all down here. As soon as you're lying down, it's coming up into your throat.
Is that when you get indigestion?
You get heartburn. Like that, You may not even particularly notice it, but it's there, and it could even drip back into your lungs a little bit and cause a cough and irritation. And also spicy food a big meal can raise your temperature, and you do want to be cooler at night. If you can, you want your bedroom around 16 to 18 degrees. You may be noticing that and the hotter it is, you don't sleep so well. So you want to keep your bedroom cool.
It's hard to sleep right now. It's very hot in here.
Yeah.
And then obviously, we already discussed sugars and caffeine before bed, big no-nos. Alcohol.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about alcohol.
Yeah, so alcohol will help you go to sleep.
Would it? Oh, yeah.
Helps you go to sleep, but it absolutely fragments your REM sleep. So it's not good. Plus, you're getting up for wheeze in the middle of the night, or you're my age and you get up for wheeze in the night anyway, and that breaks up your sleep as well. So that's not good. So yeah, alcohol is a naughty one. And when you wake up with a massive hangover, it may not be so much the alcohol. Some of it could have been from your lack of sleep.
Yeah, because you're not getting good quality sleep.
Yeah, and again, if you wake up with the vivid dreams from after you've had alcohol, that will be the reason why. And again, they talk about, those strong blue cheeses that can give you vivid dreams. It's interfering with your REM sleep.
Is that true?
So you still have the vivid dreams, as always. It's just that you recall them because you wake up earlier in your cycle than you should do.
Oh, so it's not that the cheese gives you dreams, it's that it's interrupting your cycle.
I believe so. Someone will probably prove me wrong on that, but that's how I believe it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow, well, good thing I don't eat cheese then.
You don't like cheese?
No.
Was it you don't like cheese or you can't have cheese?
Bit of both.
Okay.
Intolerant to pretty much every cheese known to man.
Heartbreak.
However, a margherita pizza does not get away unscathed.
So what actually is tryptophan?
Tryptophan. So you'll find those in turkey, eggs, oats and dairy products. So as I said, they help to make serotonin and the melatonin, both of which one regulates your mood, one helps you sleep.
I take magnesium before bed, and magnesium helps with your sleep quality, right?
Sleep quality, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it helps relax the muscles more than anything else. And so you can find magnesium in supplements, or you can get it from nuts, spinach, pumpkin seeds, something like that.
Yeah, because I saw for people, people in their sleep that twitch, apparently, so magnesium helps with that, and that's because it relaxes the muscles.
It's a muscle relaxant.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
That's right. And then you've also got other fruits, you've got other foods such as kiwi fruit or cherries, which supposedly help melatonin production as well. So you can have a few of those before you go to bed if you like that.
There you go.
And then you've got other things. You've got herbal teas before you go to bed.
I love a green tea, is that?
No,
yeah?
not green tea. No, that's got caffeine in it. No.
But decaffeinated green tea?
Maybe not. So chamomile?
Yes.
Or valerian? Which
I've not heard of that. I like a chamomile.
It's pretty horrible.
Okay.
But yeah, stick with the chamomile.
Do you like chamomile tea?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I find them really relaxing.
I have it every now and again, yeah.
Yeah. What's the other one called?
I think valerian.
I've not heard of that.
Anyone know valerian?
Anyone,
no? Am
guys?
I making that up?
Is that the language in Game of Thrones?
Well, I'm just saying, is it from Game of Thrones actually? Now I've said it.
So, are there any sleep disruptors that you've seen at work, maybe things that people aren't realising are ruining their sleep and their sleep hygiene?
Well, we've talked about a bit already. It's alcohol, getting up for wheeze in the night, the hidden caffeine, as you say, in desserts, in even ice cream. But it comes back also to the bedroom environment. So we've talked about, keeping it cool, keeping it dark. You've got blackout curtains.
I can't sleep without my blackout curtains.
Yeah, otherwise 5 o'clock in the morning the sun is streaming into you. As we talked before, the screens in bed, not having your phones in bed and scrolling and everything else. You can get sleeping aids, sleeping tablets. They do help you sleep, but they're not natural, so you don't get into that sleep cycle, which is why people find that they get used to it and want to carry on, because they need it, because they're not catching up on their sleep. There's still that sleep deprivation.
Well, to quote Dr. Ed Copley, who was on our podcast in episode 2, he said that sleeping tablets don't make you be asleep; they make you be not awake. So, if you have them, you're gonna, not be awake. But if you don't have them, even though you may get less sleep because you're not taking these sleeping tablets, the sleep you get will be of better quality as well.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because if you've taken it and you feel better, it's then difficult to put them away, because then you get anxious that you're not going to sleep. And if you're anxious about not sleeping, you're not going to sleep. Vicious cycle.
And then you just go onto the sleeping tablets because you know that they will put you, asleep, aka not awake.
Sleep anxiety, I'm a bit like that because I'm one of those people, I'm sure a lot of other people are like this, that before I go to sleep, I'll count how many hours sleep I'm going to get, and if I know I'm not getting more than 7, I then almost feel a bit panicked because I'm like, oh, tomorrow's not going to be a good day because I know how I feel when I don't get enough sleep.
Yeah, again, it's this build-up of sleep deprivation. So if you know you're going to have a crap night's sleep because of you getting up really early, then you just need to timetable in some time to get that sleep back again.
What's your opinion on naps? Naps? Are naps a good thing?
Great thing, certainly at my age.
Especially on a Sunday after a roast dinner.
Yeah. I mean, I struggle now to drink alcohol in the afternoon because I'm...
Yeah. Day drinking always makes you tired.
Especially in this heat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we mentioned anxiety and stress and sleep anxiety. How can stress and anxiety impact your sleep?
So as we said, when you're anxious, you're focusing on that you're not sleeping, or you're focusing on things that are stressing your body, negative thoughts going around your head. So that's going to disrupt you getting off to sleep. But also when you're in that sort of anxiety state, you tend to be pushing out the adrenaline because it's a fight or flight. So again, that's going to be a negative effect to your sleep. So, it's unfortunately, as we said, a vicious cycle again, getting it through. But yeah, we need to find ways around to try and help people sleep. Because you're just not going to be refreshed the next day and you're not going to function properly.
Are there any techniques or coping mechanisms for someone that's feeling quite anxious? I guess we've got some mindfulness, maybe some meditation before bed. I know I've done that a few times.
Yep, absolutely. The old counting the sheep is a form of meditation. It's trying to calm that brain down. If you're anxious and you've got a lot of ruminating thoughts, is do a journal. When you go to bed, get into bed and actually physically write out what's happened on that day and your thoughts about that day. Less likely to then ruminate it once you've written it.
It's like a problem shared is a problem halved. A problem written down is a problem halved.
So as you say, meditation techniques, things like that, or you can even go along for your general stress to get CBT therapy, cognitive behaviour therapy, which will then help you deal with when you start getting that anxiety later on.
Yeah, so it's like finding the right mechanisms for you that's going to help you calm your brain down. And then obviously if they don't go, then it's going to your GP to get some further help. Yeah,
absolutely. And as you say, if you are tired in the day, have a nap. You don't, as I said, if you go into REM sleep, that takes about 90 minutes. So you don't want to really get into that deep sleep, which is going to be at about 45 an hour.
So what's a perfect nap?
Somewhere between 45 and an hour, I would say, just to redo yourself. But if you're very sleep deprived, then you will need longer. So as I say, it's where you are with your sleep at that time.
I just do that at work on my desk, guys. I've got to get my REM sleep in.
During your
I've
lunch
got to
break.
get my 45 minutes, sorry.
Well, one thing that's always helped me with sleep, I used to struggle a couple of years ago. I would close my eyes. It's similar to meditation. It's picture yourself in like a boat in a nice relaxing lake and just rowing along, and it's building that picture and then of that current environment as well made me just fall asleep straight away, I always found.
Well, the other thing that really does help are soundscapes or white noise. So you've got the sound of rain on a tin roof or the waves lapping on the sea. That's very, very restorative to you, very calming, and you play that. It also stops external noises from waking you up, so you can have that. And certainly if we go away in a hotel in the city and it's noisy, we stick on some white noise or something like that to sort of just background.
And is it really bad? I know a lot of people probably do this, but I fall asleep with the TV on because I like to hear something, so I'm listening to the TV show. I'm not watching it, but I'm listening to the TV show as I fall asleep. Is that bad?
What do you think?
Yes.
Because your mind is being stimulated
by the TV show.
Even though you may not be really focusing upon it, your brain will automatically be listening to the words. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of that one.
I always find that coming out of summer, when it gets to that weather where the fan having that on makes you cold, turning that fan off and then trying to sleep is always a struggle, because having it on now, it's perfect, there's that fan noise, but as soon as you turn it off and then try and sleep once summer's over, I always find takes some like adapting to, because there's not that noise anymore.
My sister has to sleep with the fan. I'm pretty sure she sleeps with the fan all year round because of the comfort of the noise. She can't sleep without it. That's almost become her white noise, the fan.
Yeah. And say routine, get into the same routine every night as well is the important thing. Hot bath, hot drink, in bed, read.
Well, what's one small change that someone can make today to start feeling better with their sleep?
Literally what I just said. I think consistent bedtimes. That's what you should do the most. Just try and stick to a bedtime routine. Find out what works for you and try and stick with that, especially if you are having trouble sleeping.
Is there any routines that you stick to yourself?
Well, I try to go to bed every night at 10:30, and I try to read for half an hour, but I tend to fall asleep while I'm reading, which is really quite simple. I try not to drink a huge amount before I go to bed, because I don't want to get up in the middle of the night and that would wake me up and break my cycle. Keep the room cool as much as I can. We do have a television in the room. I don't watch it. The missus does. I watch my TV elsewhere. And my phone is downstairs. When I go to bed, I charge it downstairs, and it's not by my bed.
I'm similar to you with the drink. I have like an 8 o'clock rule with a cup of tea, because a cup of teas make me wee so much, so I cannot drink tea past that time. Otherwise, I know I'm up multiple times in the night, and then I find that frustrating because obviously I'm getting a disturbed sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
From this podcast, I have learned that I need to not watch TV right before bed. I need to not listen to the TV.
Well,
whilst I'm going to sleep.
Another one I would add there is, if you do go to bed around my time at 10:30, what you really shouldn't do is watch the 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Not just from a sleep point of view, but from your mood
It's
point
stressful.
of view.
I don't watch the news anymore anyway.
It's if you're going to watch the 6 o'clock news or something earlier, but don't watch it before you go to bed. That's just...
I'm going to tell my parents that, because they watch the 10 o'clock news every night, and I'm like, I don't know why you're watching this. It's so negative, one.
Very negative. Yeah, it's not good for your mental health watching. As a counsellor told me that years and years ago, that's what I tell my patients, don't do it. And I stopped watching the news at that time of night.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Big positive.
I think a lot of people probably don't think about how much it actually affects them, because then all of the bad things that are going on in the world are playing on your mind then, from bedtime.
And there's a few things going on at the moment.
Yep, absolutely.
Just a couple.
Just a few. Yeah, no TV watching, no TV to fall asleep to. So I need to find some white noise or something comforting that I can watch whilst not
Maybe
watch.
just something on Spotify. You can get some fan noises.
Yeah,
on
there's
Spotify.
lots on Spotify.
Yeah.
There's a slight issue with they've got a 10-hour fan, but they stick an advert halfway through, even when you've got the...
That's going to disturb you. That's going to wake me up.
Yeah, it's woken me up a few times. But yeah, you can get lots of rain noises and stuff like that. There's lots of soundscapes on Spotify.
Especially on YouTube as well. I mean, you've got to pay for the premium, I think, to have your phone locked at the same time. But even if you have your TV, and on some TVs now, you can turn the screen off but have the sound still on. So maybe do YouTube and rain noise.
But I'm really trying to read at the minute, so I'm going to do that instead of going on my phone. But I always find that I will read, and then I'll just quickly check my phone for 2 minutes before. So then I'm always reversing all of the good things I've done, creating the damage.
FOMO, would you say? You feel like you're missing something by not checking your phone?
Yeah,
like
I think I'm always worried. Like, I probably would never not sleep without my phone in the room, just in case of emergencies, in case someone needed me.
Is going on your phone first thing in the morning or early in the morning damaging to the sleep that we do get?
Yeah, there is something to say that the first thing you shouldn't do is open your screen and have all that light hitting you.
You're good at that, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't go on my phone for like half an hour, 45 minutes once I've woken up.
Oh, that's very good.
The only thing I'll check is my watch. I'll check my sleep, my watch, and then I'll go wash, have breakfast, and then once I feel like I'm awake, then I'll check it.
That's probably pretty rare.
But it's also because I'm trying to get my screen time down, which is another thing.
You like a challenge?
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm bad at that.
Well, I guess like how you said before, it is the FOMO. It's like, has anyone needed me? Has anyone contacted me in the night?
Yeah, go on Instagram.
Any work messages?
Something happened.
Yeah, it is hard. It is really hard because you don't, if there is an emergency or something's happened, you want to check that, but you also got to protect your own peace, haven't you?
Yeah.
But that is really impressive that you do that.
Thank you. Well, and then my screen time goes up during the day.
Yeah, but you can't help that. That's your job.
That's my lesson for today. I'm going to not reach my phone as soon as I wake up.
That's going to be so hard though. What I guess you just get out of bed,
Get
whereas
up,
I laze
wash.
for about half an hour
Yeah.
on my phone.
We'll just get up, wash, grab some food, and then once you've done that, then you're awake, and then I'll check my phone. If I've got any messages that are urgent, then I'll reply, but I try not to scroll on socials or anything, because then I'll just stay in bed. If I wake up, go on my phone, I'm in bed, but if I'm up, once my curtains are open, then...
Wow, that
nothing
is very impressive.
So obviously I just mentioned how I'll check my sleep on my watch, but how accurate are, watches at tracking sleep? Because you have the same on your watch.
I do, but I don't use it. But maybe I should do. So they're very good actually for whether you're asleep or not. So I think they're about 80 to 90%. But what they're not so good at is telling you the stages of sleep. So it will tell you you've had 45 minutes of REM sleep or an hour of deep sleep, but it isn't something that's measuring the brain waves, and it's only the brain waves that will tell you. So they're working it out through how your body is moving, whether your heart rate is rising, as they would do when you're dreaming, but they're not very accurate for that. So for total sleep, yeah, pretty good. But for the type of sleep, are you getting the right type of sleep? Not brilliant.
Just more of a prediction. Take it with a pinch of salt, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I often have the habit, I'll check, how much sleep did I get? Even though obviously you can work it out, but checking exactly because it says when I'm awake and that sort of thing. But now I know to take it with a pinch of salt, not go around going, I had an hour and a half of REM last night, but to be like, I had around there, but maybe not exactly.
Yeah, you're not going to get an accurate figure.
Yeah.
I said you're not measuring the brain waves. So
maybe I need to go to like a lab and have someone watch me sleep for that information.
Plug yourself in every night.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the sleep apnea, that's how you diagnose sleep apnea. Is that you're measuring someone with the oxygen measure on their finger, and you see it dropping and everything else, and then you can tell how many times they've woken up during the night. So yeah, you don't really want to go for that.
Maybe not then.
I don't know how you sleep with a watch every night. I'd find that really uncomfortable.
I think I'm just used to it now because it's always on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're putting Gareth on the spot now. So at the end of every podcast, we ask our guest the same question, and that is, what is one piece of health advice you would live by? And Gareth has already answered this once because he was on our first episode talking about prostate health. So Gareth, have you got another piece of health advice for people?
Yes. I think people need to talk more to each other. I think they need to open up, and if they're in trouble, talk about it. So I think that's an important thing. It's people not to be scared to open up to their friends. They would be upset if their friends didn't talk to them about their troubles. Let's be more open about it.
Gareth, that would be a topic to talk about if you're, feeling up for coming on for a third time.
A third episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a very important message to get out there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us for your second episode on the Check My Body Health podcast. How did you find it this time?
It wasn't as bad as I was fearing.
Yeah? You're in your podcast era now, Gareth.
Yeah. You're going to be starting your own soon.
Yeah.
You'll be joining us as a host at this rate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gareth. And if you've not already, make sure to like, comment, follow us on Spotify, on YouTube, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.